Okay, so let's click on Paint, change the resolution to 1024 with tight mapping, press OK. If you have a very powerful computer at home, you might want to try bumping that up to 2048. It'll give you a better resolution for the image. At the moment you can see there's a grey and a light grey and a dark grey checkerboard. We want to fill the model with a base color. So I click on the orange button there. I'm going to go with a purple somewhere on there. Now this is the final outcome color. So you can get it by mixing, so on and so forth. Press OK. Now the middle slider is strength. I want to boost that to 100% and click on F for fill. Okay. Now I'm going to add some accent color. So I'm going to get perhaps a blue, something like that. Press OK. Now I want to turn the strength down to maybe about 15%. And my paintbrush, I don't want a hard edge. I'll show you the difference. I'll adjust the size down a bit. I don't want, if I turn the 100% strength for a second, I don't want a hard-edged brush. What I do want is to move hardness all the way to the left, so it's a soft edge, but I also want to turn strength way down. And I want to just add a little bit of another color with a bit of a blue near the head. And you can see the subtle variation. I don't want to go 100% anywhere, and I want to keep it more random. And for the purposes of this demonstration, I'm not actually going to paint the entire model. I think you can see what I'm doing. Maybe a little bit more strength for you. Now it helps if you have a digital tablet to draw on. It also helps for you to know a little bit more about anatomy and where you might see features like these blood vessels. Okay. Now I'm going to go get some, maybe something that might be the gums, and turn up the strength a bit and the size. And I want to keep a soft edge so that I can be careful not to touch too close. I'm also going to get rid of that symmetry line because it's a bit off-putting. So I click on Options and turn off Show Symmetry Line. Okay, go like that. Don't worry about the teeth for a second. Now, if I had a higher resolution mesh, you wouldn't see these sort of jagged little lines there. But for the purposes of this demonstration, it should be good enough. Now I'm going to get something slightly lighter. Did that stick? Yes. And I'm just going to give it a little bit near where the teeth are, to give it a little bit of glint. And also right about there. And then I'm going to go for something a little bit darker, but not too dark. Maybe turn the strength down a bit. Don't worry about making it perfect for this assignment. This is meant to be a bit of just a taster of what the application does. And then of course, if you really enjoy it, you can come to the Digital Art Club on Fridays. If you're doing designs for video games, use low resolution meshes like this one. The reason is all of the rendering is what we call real time. So while the person is playing, the computer has to calculate what everything looks like in real time. But for the film industry, if you're making a movie or a commercial, the resolution of the mesh will be much, much higher. And that is because once they've worked out all the animation, they can then render all of the frames and it doesn't really matter how much time it takes because they can leave it running overnight. Okay, one more thing for this tutorial, and that is I'm just going to get something for the inside of the mouth. I'm going to do it fairly quickly. And I'm not really worried about the entire model being painted, partially because this is only a tutorial, but also because not all of the model will show in the final animation. Simulating geometry, bumps and things like that, speeds up rendering time. So in video games, they use color instead of modeling textures. Almost done here. Okay, that's as far as I'm going to bring it for this one. Okay, at this stage I want to save it again. In fact, you probably should save it more frequently than I've been doing. And now we need to do something before we import it into the animation program. We need to save our painting as an image map. So to do that, we click on Show Advanced Tools, and we say Save Texture Map, which is this one right here. We're going to save it into our folder where we have everything else. So if I click on Desktop, and I've got Alien Animation, and I'm going to save it as a JPEG instead of a PNG, but either will work. And I'm going to call this Alien 3 Texture Map. Say Save. And we also want to export an OBJ for this object. Okay, so we've saved it as a Sculptris file, but we also need to export it into an OBJ file so that we can import it into 3ds Max. So to do that, we click on OBJ Export. Again, make sure you're saving it in the right place. Alien Animation. This is called Alien 3. And save as type. I'm going to change it to Wavefront OBJ. Click on Save. The next part of this tutorial will be animating this alien in 3ds Max. Stay tuned.